Most of us are tired. Most of us are stressed. Some of us slept great and some of us didn't sleep at all. Yet, some of us still decide to show up. Because everyone out here is carrying something. Pain, pressure, doubt, life in general. But understand this, you're not the only one going through it. The difference is, some people decide to show up anyway.
Every time you make an excuse, all you do is build a wall. That wall is keeping you from your destination. That wall is keeping you from your goal. That wall is keeping you from your desired reality. I don't blame anybody and I don't make excuses. Now there's nothing that can stop you on the outside. Now you'll see you're the one who's driving you forward. I'm not going to sit here and blame him. While yes, my situation may be X, Y, and Z, I still have the power and I have the accountability to change the story and change my actions and change the way I experience it. So this is where, until you are accountable, you won't be able to change your life.
Being great is being selfish. You have to be selfish to be great. You have to put the work in, the dedication in, to be great, to be the best in the world, to win the gold medal. You have to work extremely hard, and you have to be selfish about that. It has to come first, because that's what it takes to meet your objective, to win gold.
Just don't quit today. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Whatever we gotta do tomorrow, just don't quit today. Little step. Tomorrow, what are we gonna do? Well, I don't know, but I'm not gonna do that today. Just today, all right? Just make one good decision today.
The key is when you're in hell, just keep walking forward each and every day. Stay focused on where you need to get to and keep taking the actions to get to where you need to get to.
Those who are willing to risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. You have to take the risk. You can no longer play it safe. Now it's time to get risky. Now it's time to truly find out what you're made of and what you could achieve. Now it's time to truly find out how many lives you could impact. Now it's time to find out what you are destined to become.
You can't have an easy life and a great character. Show me a trust fund kid that inherited a bunch of money, and I'll show you someone mentally tortured. It's not the pursuit of happiness, it's the happiness of the pursuit. The journey or the destination. It's who you become on the journey.
If you're not getting past this, today, this week, this month, this year, all of a sudden a decade goes by and you're still holding up, and you can't get rid of that thing, if it's holding you back from going where you want to go, maybe you should just deny the thing ever can happen. Kick it in the head. Kick it off the curb. I'm done with you. I'm sick of you. I'm tired of hanging out with you. I'm tired of that thing, whatever it is, holding me back from going where I want to go.
Never say you can't do it. Say, I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it yet. And that's true with everything. It's like, there's nothing that you can do. You may not have done it yet. We don't know if you can do it or not until you really practice, and then you find out if you could do it or not, or how well you could do it.
You have to kill your current self for your new self to have room to grow. And so it's this constant appraisal of your skills and activities. Which of these makes me stronger? Which of these makes it more likely for me to hit my goal? And I just want to give you that frame, because that single frame of, is this person being in my life make it more likely or less likely that I hit my goal? Is this activity or this behavior that I do make it more or less likely that I hit my goal? And I consistently just ask that question over and over and over again. Imagine a competitor that you'd never want to go against. Focused, persistent, always learning, always improving, relentless, says no to everything but that which makes them stronger. You know what he looks like, you know how he acts, you know who he associates with. That's future you. Now become him.
A dream is so big, when you have something, it's hard to give up. You get to the point that you're capable of risking more for just a dream, which is something that a normal person will not understand.
You know, right now the goal is just to focus on myself, you know, everything growth. I'm not worried about the mistakes that I made in the past or anything, you know. I'm in competition with myself. So I'm just getting better and better and better. That's it.
You want to know when your life will really change though? The truth is, your life will change when you realize that some people are gone and they ain't coming back. Stop trying to breathe life into something that died years ago. Some people are in your life forever, but most people are only passing through. That chapter is in the past. So instead of reading the same chapter over and over again, it's time to make space for people who actually deserve your time and attention and who are presently here with you right now.
Remember this when life gets tough. Life is a lot like driving. Sometimes you get lost, and sometimes you have to take streets you don't like. Maybe they're full of traffic, or maybe they're too bumpy, but they lead you where you need to go. Each rough patch has a purpose that will teach you a lesson and make you stronger. You might not get why you're on a hard road, but trust the process. Every path, no matter how hard, is needed for your growth. The bumps in the road are steps to where you need to be. Keep going. Even when the way is unclear or crowded, you have a place you're meant to reach. The funny thing about life is that we can have so much and still feel something's missing. There's always that empty spot making us wonder why. We make excuses, looking for reasons for this feeling, wondering if there's a fix. It's because we can't let go. Holding on to a dream of a perfect life, we forget that good things take time.
Pleasure passes quickly, but the shame remains. That's the harsh Stoic truth. But the positive side of that is the reverse. When you work hard for something, when you put in hard labor on something, that passes quickly. But the pride, the virtue, the good that comes out of it, it remains.
And it's about accepting the seasons. The weather can never be the same. It can never rain all day, every day. So maybe you're in a season, but the weather always has to change. What can you be learning? What can you be doing in this season? Because it's definitely not gonna change if you're not figuring out what lesson you need to have in this season. If it never rained, the plant's not growing.
Have you ever realized that both fear and faith require you to believe in something that you cannot see? Think about that for a second. Both include uncertainty, both require discomfort. One keeps you small by anticipating danger or pain. The other wants you to grow by anticipating joy or love. So if you're stuck between the two, doubt or hope, fear or faith, maybe the simpler question is, which of the two do you value more? Once you have your answer, start acting from there.
And most people, when they fail, they don't like to look at themselves in the mirror and say, you know what? Maybe I have to change. People want change to happen to them. They don't want to change. And when you realize that change isn't going to happen to you, you need to actually proactively determine your future. Then and only then can you actually take not only full accountability for your good actions, your bad actions, but for your full life.
If you feel like you lost your way, I would say congratulations. If you're lost, that only means one thing. You're about to be found. And sometimes you need to lose your way in order to find a better way. Sometimes you need to lose certain things to gain better things. Sometimes certain doors have to close that you want to keep open so a better door can come into your life.
Sometimes when you're following your own path, it takes a while for the world to catch up with you. You might look at the journey others have been on and think, that's what I should do. But instead, you kept moving through the dark on your own. And maybe you would have gotten there a little faster if you just followed everyone else. But now you can say you did it your way. You aren't living someone else's life and calling it enough. You stayed true to yourself. And that, my friends, is real success.
It's easy to look around at other people and think they have it better. They struggled too. At some point, they stood with their head in their hands, or got down on their knees, or slumped to the floor, not knowing exactly where to go, or what to do, or how things were going to work out. Every single successful person I know has gone through a struggle where they didn't know the next step. They had to step out in the darkness, so to speak, before the next step was illuminated. They took the chance not knowing what the end result would be. They took the step even though they were afraid. That's what courage is. That's what faith is about.
No one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you.
Why would you not go for it? Why would you not take a chance? At one point in time, you got to take a chance on you.
This year, you can't allow anything or anyone to get in the way of your growth, your success, or your inner peace. You have to stay focused on developing who you are, so when you look in the mirror, you feel proud.
Fail big. That's right. Fail big. Today's the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there, and you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances.
You gotta figure it out. If you really have an obsession to figure it out, you will figure it out. And every puzzle is constructed differently. Everybody has a different puzzle, man. You just gotta figure out your own puzzle.
You can walk through the fire complaining along the way, or you can walk through the fire and create an example for everyone else so that the trials and tribulations of their own life seem trivial because they're comparing themselves to the way you handle things, or the way you handle things with grace and dignity and discipline can show other people that they can handle their own life this way. And there's beauty in that. There really is. And there's so much inspiration to be gathered from other people.
This is why I say stay hard. Because when you weren't given the gifts, the only thing you can do in life is stay hard. There's no magic pill or a magic potion. All you can do is outwork the man that God created, or woman, in you.
The person you have to spend the most time listening to in your life is yourself. Try not to lose their respect. Self-respect and self-esteem, I think, largely comes from having faith in your own word.
I'm gonna, as far as I'm concerned, that's all talk. Actually get in there and get yourself some results. That's what you should really be focusing on,
Start betting on you and become the kind of person worth betting on. Trust and follow your dreams and desires. Do what you say you're going to do, and hold yourself to a higher standard. Living in the certainty that everything is always working out for you gives you courage and confidence to take risks, to feel comfortable in the unknown.
Sometimes you just need to focus on the small battles first. Ignore other people's progress and focus on yourself. Sometimes the small wins are the big wins, the ones that build momentum, and the ones that give you the confidence to fight another day. The only standard you need to hold yourself to is your own. Just put your head down, take one small step, and then another, and don't stop until you get there.
Don't worry about next week, next year. Just focus on every 24 hours that you get, and that's done a lot for me.
It's this magical thing, purpose, that we're all looking for. But we don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us, because the very purpose is you. You are always the purpose. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself.
And are you going to be able to do everything in a day? No, you're not. But what an opportunity you have to just take one step at a time. And that's really where the beauty and the treasure is in the journey. It's in the steps that you get to take each and every day.
We become different people on the other side of change. What we're capable of, what we value, and how we define ourselves, these things can all shift. And if we can learn to pay close attention to these internal shifts, we may just find that rather than limiting us, change can actually expand us.
Well. If it isn't the guy that thinks it's too late.
Then this is one part that I try to tell people and teach them. If you're trying to go to that uncommon amongst the uncommon place, it's a lonely motherfucker up there, man.
If I had to pick one trait for a young man to have, it would be resilience.
Let me ask you something, bro. Why not you? I think I know why. It's because you never really believed it in the first place.
Do you want to be on your deathbed knowing that you could, but you didn't?
I'm not asking you for very much at all. I'm just asking you to be disciplined now.
If you go visit the darkness that you've been running from, you'll have the opportunity to leave a better person.
Like if you're going to live, you're going to be pushed past your limit. Right? You're going to live. So, but who knows what you discover when you push past your limit?
People will try to put the same limitations on you that they put on themselves. Don't mistake their insecurities for your ceiling.
Death is real, and the clock's going to keep ticking whether you like it or not. You have right now. You just have to take the first step.
I define resilience as the amount of time after an aversive experience that you return to baseline function. And so if you have a series of behaviors that you do under certain conditions and then something bad happens, how quickly you return back to the original behavior set. And so in doing that, like if someone can not give up and learn, then on a long enough time horizon, you guarantee victory. Like if you only had those things, you don't stop and you get better. That's it.
Remember when you don't feel like doing something that you're not doing it for how you feel now? It hurts right now. It's inconvenient. It's uncomfortable. You're doing it for you in the future, you tomorrow, you in a year from now. You will thank yourself for staying consistent in the times where you felt like giving up, where it felt like the most viable option. But it is in these moments that separate those who prevail and those who don't. You will win in the long run. You just can't give up. That is the only way you lose, my friend.
The warrior is strong, yet his sleep is fragile. His wisdom, an amalgamation of precedent, yet his decisions cannot be based on the frailties of man. He is rather fueled by divine inspiration, ascending from the heart. He knows not anger, and only fears the unknown. The warrior does not judge, for his true assignment is to deliver evidence of superior behavior to the creator of all men. The warrior does not dream of frontiers. He only sees horizons. The true warrior knows, accepts, and embraces, above all, integrity, which is his course in life. And only when one can fully absorb these most divine of all virtues can one at last see how impossible and futile it is to make war.
One of the things that I've noticed between champions and everyone else is that everyone else is so excited when they win. They're so excited, by the idea of them getting first place. But there's a reason that they never get first place. It's because they're excited about it. The people who always and very consistently hit first place and win the championship are relieved because they tend to hate losing more than they love winning. And they expected to win because of the level of preparation they had compared to everyone else.
I don't like the notion of everyone saying, oh, he got lucky, Yeah, he got lucky. Yeah, of course. But luck to me is not what everyone is saying. Luck is where preparation meets opportunity.
The most important question that you have to ask yourself in life is how badly do you want what you want? How badly do you want it? Or do you want it at all? You see, there's an awful lot of people who want an awful lot of things. But how badly do they want it? If you want it so badly, if you want it with tremendous intensity of desire, there's really nothing in the world that can stop you from getting it.
Don't let them ever see you with your head down, bro. Get up. You're not tired. Get up. They're watching. You know, your kids are looking for their father to be strong. As somebody they can follow, don't disappoint them, bro. Don't let the troubles of this world bring you down. Because there's so many people counting on you to make it. You're not tired. Get up. And do it for them. Do it for them.
When the lights are off and everybody else has gone home and everybody else is taking a break and everybody else is just doing whatever they are going to do, what are you doing then? That's going to determine what your life outcome is. It's about how you move when no one's watching. It's about how you work when you're not going to get applause. It's not about what you do on Instagram. It's about what you do in reality. You've been taught that it is just about showing up on time and doing the job. Greatness does not come from doing what you're supposed to do. It comes from you deciding what you actually want and you saying, I am willing to do whatever the takes to create that, no matter how hard, no matter how long, no matter what I have to go through, I will get there.
You're living. How do you want to live? How do you want to die? How do you want to be remembered? There was no passion, no drive, no nothing. But I had this fire that I'm going to be somebody. I want to give people the confidence to walk in a room of 1 million people and none of them like you, and you just like say, "F you, I'm good." Then walk out with you by yourself.
Hardest thing in life, guys, isn't doing this stuff. Isn't going past your current levels of comfort, hitting new levels, getting knocked in your ass. That is not the hard part of life. The hard part of life is when you don't have the time to do this anymore, and you didn't achieve everything you wanted to do. And you look back on your life knowing there were pockets throughout your existence where you could have applied yourself. Now all that's left is you in a self-arrest, self-paralysis state, thinking, wow, I could have been great. Wow, I could have done something with my life. Now I'm stuck with this shit for the life I'm in. Think of that, and you're in here hurting, man. You're wondering, how do you go on? The better question is, how can you not go on?
I think the most important thing is to become the best version of yourself, to become and achieve your fullest potential. But you can truly become whoever you want to be. And I wanted to push this message of hope, and I wanted to push this message of if you work hard, if you are consistent, and if you dedicate yourself to a worthy ideal, you can become whoever you want to become.
Give people the freedom to think negative thoughts about you. And when you let people think negative thoughts about you, it unlocks your confidence, it frees your self-expression, and it will catapult you into a whole new chapter of your life, your career, your happiness. This is amazing. Give people the freedom to think something negative about you. Let them. You have zero control over someone else's opinion of you. So it is stupid to waste your time trying to manage it. The fact is, it's impossible to control someone else's thoughts. Therefore, fearing what other people think or trying to control their thoughts is a complete waste of your time. You will never feel in control of your life, your feelings, your thoughts, or your actions until you first stop being consumed with or trying to control what other people think about you.
The ones doing the least will always talk the most. They don't see the hours you put in, the risks you took, and the sacrifices you made. They just see the surface and scream from the sidelines, because the ones in the arena, they don't boo. They know what it takes. They know what it costs. So keep building, keep showing up, and don't waste your breath explaining your grind to anyone who's never laced up.
If most people have way more potential, but the thing is people aren't pushing themselves. You need to start thinking how much you can push yourself instead of trying to see how much you can get away with. And learning how to push yourself more, you will unlock a level of potential that will look fucking crazy to everyone else. And if you can do that on a consistent basis, your whole life can change. Within a year, everything can change. But most people never push themselves. Everybody's trying to see how much they can get away with. They're not ready to get extreme. You know, if just being an extremist, you will bring so much more of your potential to the surface.
Your goal is growth to the grave. If you are breathing but not growing, you aren't living, you're dying. Make every moment of your life a moment of growth. There will be discomfort, there will be failure, there will be pain, and there will be growth to the grave.
Then we are born into a family, so we're told what our family name is, and then your parents choose a name and they say, your name will be Joel. It means the awesomeness of Yahweh, and you have to live up to that, dude. We're counting on you not to make us look bad. And you're gonna go to Harvard, and you're gonna be a doctor, and by the way, you're a Catholic, or you're a Jew, or you're, whatever you are. It's like, everything are these abstract structures that you're given. And it's supposed to hold you together somehow. And I've just given them up. When I was, I guess, 15, I was 15 years old, and I was looking for a way into the business. I want to be the greatest actor that ever lived, frankly. But I don't need to be. I just really want to be here. That's it.
Because life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Sometimes I think that's the only thing that's important, really. It's just letting each other know we're here. Reminding each other that we're part of a larger self.
You know what? In order to go forward, I have to let go of what this creation is. Many of the things I do have to do with the disappointment of creating a winning personality in the world. And then eventually, for your own sanity and freedom, letting it go.
I understood suddenly how thought was just an illusory thing, and how thought is responsible for, if not all, most of the suffering we experience.
Flying 6,000 miles an hour around the sun, balancing on tectonic plates that are floating on lava, ready for the end times to occur and whatever the hell is gonna happen. I'm just great. That's all great.
I've decided to be there. I only act in the movies.
I dropped the whole trying to be something for somebody a long time.
And at a certain point, I realized, hey, wait a second, if it's so easy to lose Jim Carrey, who the hell is Jim Carrey?
So you're just passing through.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm not looking backward.
Why don't we just...
It was more like, you're supposed to say, we're important. You're supposed to say, it's all going to be all right. And you're supposed to say that, whatever you dream can come true. And you're supposed to say all those things. I do believe in manifestation, power, that kind of stuff. But I don't believe that any of it matters. This mattering is to me a human construct born out of a need. The same need as you have to have, deities and things like that. And I believe in an energy of God, an energy of, everything is divine. There's no thing that isn't divine. Everything
is divine and I'm that. And it doesn't matter to me what's happening. I'm finding that ultimately the freedom from it is something people are kind of hungry for in a way. They're like, I don't want to be me either. Right. You know, and I go, well, look, great, because you never have been. I believe that I had to become a famous, you know, idea and get all the stuff that people dream about and accomplish a bunch of things that means, don't you? You know, that look like success in order to give up my attachment to those things. It's been a part of the evolution of ego is to spend your first half of your life acquiring and adding, thinking you can add to yourself, and it looks great. I mean, it looks great when you got a cool car and you got nice clothes and you know, and you've done something that people admire, but it can never fulfill you. You can never be happy. You know what I mean? It's not where happiness comes from. And you know, I dealt with depression, you know, a few years ago, and people still think, well, he's going through, you can tell he's depressed. It's not. I had no depression in my life whatsoever. Literally none. I have sadness and joy and elation and satisfaction and gratitude beyond belief, but all of it is weather, and it just spins around the planet. You know, it doesn't sit on me long enough to kill me. The happy place is realizing that you're everything, you know, and that there's no real you involved in the first place. You know, it's a weird little semantic jump that you make where it sounds like, well, that's totally fucking threatening, man. I can't not be me. I built this construct, and it's just ideas. They're just ideas. You know, the only thing that separates you from an African American or an African Canadian is an idea. You know, and the weather, the adaptation to the climate, and whatever it is, I don't believe in any of it. And so the feeling of wholeness is a different feeling than meanness.
I watched the effect of my father's love and humor and how it altered the world around me. And I thought, that's something to do. That's something worth my time. When I was about 28, after a decade as a professional comedian, I realized one night in LA that the purpose of my life had always been to free people from concern, just like my dad. I did something that made people present their best selves to me wherever I go. How will you serve the world? What do they need that your talent can provide? That's all you have to figure out. I can tell you from experience, the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Because ultimately, we're not the avatars we create. We're not the pictures on the film stock. We are the light that shines through. All else is just smoke and mirrors, distracting, but not truly compelling. That peace that we're after lies somewhere beyond personality, beyond the perception of others, beyond invention and disguise, even beyond effort itself. You can join the game, fight the wars, play with form all you want, but to find real peace, you have to let the armor go. Your need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world. Don't let anything stand in the way of the light that shines through this form. Risk being seen in all of your glory. I've often said that I wished people could realize all their dreams and wealth and fame, and so that they could see that it's not where you're going to find your sense of completion. Like many of you, I was concerned about going out into the world and doing something bigger than myself, until someone smarter than myself made me realize that there is nothing bigger than myself. Our eyes are not viewers, they're also projectors that are running a second story over the picture.
that we see in front of us all the time. Fear is writing that script, and the working title is I'll Never Be Enough. I'm just making a conscious choice to perceive challenges as something beneficial so that I can deal with them in the most productive way. You'll come up with your own style. That's part of the fun. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. You will only ever have two choices, love or fear. Choose love, and don't ever let fear turn you against your playful heart. All that will be left of you is what was in your heart. My soul is not contained within the limits of my body. My body is contained within the limitlessness of my soul. You can fail, and what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you've got. Relax and dream up a good life. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, of course, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I'm saying, I'm the proof that you can ask the universe for it.
You're on a spiritual journey, period. And we're all going to end up in the same place, if there is such a thing.
I used to be a guy who was experiencing the world, and now I feel like the world and the universe experiencing a God.
All we really yearn for is our own absence. I don't want anything. That's the craziest thing, and it's the weirdest thing to say, where I have no ambition. Somewhere in the middle of absolute confusion, absolute disappointment, the fruition of all of my dreams, standing there with everything anybody else had ever dreamed about having, and be unhappy.
You know, it's not Jim Carrey who can walk down the street just you know, doing anything he wants to and get away with it because nobody knows you. You know, after a while, hopefully it'll be to the point where I can't walk out in the street. Won't that be fun? where it'll be impossible to walk anywhere without being recognized.
You're supposed to say, you know, we're important. Supposed to say, it's all going to be all right. And you're supposed to say, whatever you dream can come true. So I do believe in manifestation, power of that kind of stuff, but I don't believe that any of it matters.
All spirituality is about relieving suffering.
You know, everything is divine. There's no thing that isn't divine. Everything is divine, and I'm that.
You go to the office and you put a monkey suit on and you act a certain way and you say a certain thing and you lie through your teeth at times and you do whatever you need to do to look like a winner. And then at some point of your life, you have to go, I don't care what it looks like. And I'm gonna face the abyss of not knowing whether that's gonna be okay with everybody or not.
The feeling of wholeness is a different feeling than meanness. I don't exist, so they're all characters that I played. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
Just like the movie, they try to drown you in the middle of that abyss. You go, no, be the other guy. You told us you were this guy. You know, no one can live with that forever.
You're like, I don't want to be me either, you know? And I go, well, look great, because you never have been. I mean, it looks great when you got a cool car and you got good, nice clothes and you've done something that people admire. It's not where happiness comes from. Everybody walks around and they go like, why am I depressed? Well, it's because you're trying to be something for the world. And as soon as you let that go, better things happen. And I wondered, who is it that's aware that I'm thinking? And suddenly I was thrown into this amazing feeling of freedom. I was no longer a fragment of the universe. I was the universe. Depression only happens when you're playing a character. So when I tried to go back and play Jim Carrey, I got depressed. You're going to have to either let that creation go and take a chance on being loved or hated, or you're going to have to kill who you really are and fall into your grave grasping onto a character that you never were. My father was not only the funniest man in the room, but he was a fantastic saxophone player. And before I was born, he had an orchestra in Toronto. But, in order to be something special, you had to leave Canada and come down to the States and prove yourself in the States. He was a little bit afraid of that transition, and also he had a family to take care of, so he became an accountant. And as time wore on, it wore him down, and he got a little bit bitter, especially when he lost his job when he was 51. That really broke him. Not only was he compromising to raise a family, but when you compromise and you fail, it really hurts. It hurts even more than failing at what you love. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I'm the proof that you can ask the universe for it. I would visualize things coming to me that I wanted or whatever. At that time, all it really was for me was making me feel better. I would drive home and think, well, I do have these things. They're out there. I just don't have a hold of them yet, but they're out there. But it's important, especially for me, I would never show up anywhere if I didn't understand that everyone was broken in some way. Because ultimately, we're not the avatars we create. We are the light that shines through.
What's this life about?
That make no sense.
You're being tested, my friend.
The question is this: can you be committed to the process of what you do without being emotionally attached to the results of what you do? Meaning, if you don't get what you thought you were going to get, can you still be the same individual?
Your heroes will let you down. Your heroes will let you down. One person that you can switch and change is yourself.
This is when you got to do it, when nobody's watching. That's where you really got to push it.
When you set out at the beginning of this year, make it your mission to sharpen those skills. Make it your mission to become more disciplined. Make it your mission to become more mentally hardened. Make it your mission to become someone who exemplifies what discipline actually is and what it looks like and what it can build and what it can become. Because the reality is the world is starving for examples of excellence.
Once you figure out your brain, you become unstoppable to almost anything. Your brain's amazing. Once you feed it the right conversation, the right mental nutrients, the right mental supplements, the right internal dialogue at the right time, with the right hit, with the right proof of what you've done in the past, and you send that right to the right circuit, dude, you're a fucking beast.
No matter what happens to you, it ain't over. It ain't over. Ain't no such a thing as over. As long as God wakes you up, that means he ain't through with you yet.
Nothing is easy. Like running is running. It sucks. But you have a choice to make. Do you want to sit down and go back to that guy you once were? No. So this is what it takes.
Consistency doesn't guarantee that you'll be successful, but not being consistent will guarantee that you won't reach success. Instead of spending time getting in the mood to work, just start working. Confront the work. People think they need perfect conditions to start, when in reality, starting is the perfect condition.
Don't post about what you're gonna do. Don't talk about what you're gonna do. Like, keep that to yourself, and then just go do it.
I try to do something difficult every day. Something I don't want to do. If you open your mind, your ear, to the moments where you don't really feel like doing it, do it.
A question. Mark Shrew says you have to ask yourself every moment, is this essential? He says, because most of what we do and say is not essential. And he says, when you eliminate the inessential, you get the double benefit of doing the essential things better.
Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. You need to have a hierarchy of improvement. You need to be aiming for something, and that means you're going to be lesser than people who've already attained along that dimension. And that can give rise to envy. So the question is, who should you defeat in the final analysis? And the answer is, you should defeat your former self. You should be constantly trying to do that. And you're the right control for yourself too, because you're the one who's had all your advantages and disadvantages. And so if you want to compete fairly with someone, then you should be competing with you.
Imagine that you met God at the pearly gates and he said, you did all right. You did okay. Why don't you just come with me and I can show you what you were supposed to do? This is the life that you were supposed to live. And it was you taking the chances. It was you having the conviction to follow your courage and to go after the things that you truly wanted. It was you playing to win, not playing to not lose. And that would be pain. The true hell is when the person you are meets the person you could have been.